congratulations. Not only the win, but the magical 9 data. Just sum up that feeling for us.
Honestly, like I'm a weirdo. I have a lot of high if anybody's heard my interviews, I have a lot of confidence in myself. So the way my darts were feeling, I felt like it was going to go in. I mean, I'm hoping for it because you're playing for the crowd and stuff like that. I've had a couple before, but they were always in like online matches. So this was my first in person, and I'm oddly like I was just happy that I started playing better at the back end of that match. And so yes, I'm glad that I hit that, but I was just like, okay, thank God I'm on a roll now.
A magical moment for CDC darts that we've got a stream, televised, whatever we want to call it, 9 dart finish, and it's your name next to it. That's a special moment.
Oh yeah, I had a sound clip the other day that said, that I'm trying to determine whether I want to come over to Europe to play or whether I want to try to build something here. And I had a lot of comments that it's oh, you guys are trash and they've clearly not been paying attention to what we've been doing over here for the last year or two. And so I'm almost happy that I hit that just so I can kind of go tag that guy on YouTube tomorrow.
In general, where is your game right now? Because I remember going back a year
Yeah.
and you were the best player in North America. You were winning everything and dominating. And since then, Stowe's come along and a few others.
Yeah.
So where is the Alex Spellman game right now?
Spellman game between Worlds and the second day of the first phase of Q School, I felt like I was one of the best players in the world. And those first 2 days at Q School, I think most of my matches were over a ton average, and I really felt like I'm the guy to beat this week. And then 2 days later, I wouldn't call it dartitis, but all of a sudden my brain just decided I want to throw fast now, and it seemed like no matter like if I just let my brain do whatever I wanted it to do, it was fine. But if I tried to slow down like I normally do, my arm, I'm sure you saw the Modus clip where I could feel that gearing up for a fast throw, and I caught myself before it's been a long road. I've not been playing well in singles events over here. Been playing really well in pairs events, but it's just now finally coming together in the last week or so, and my brain's finally letting me have control again. And that's probably why I was able to do what I just did, was because I'm not only am I playing well, but I'm playing confident, whereas I wasn't doing that in the last couple months.
I want to ask you about the World Championships because we haven't had time to grab you because obviously everyone's scheduled to be manic. That your stock rose in defeat at the Worlds, and you must have been one, delighted with the way you played, two gutted that you lost. But when you look at the draw, you must have felt that anyone else,
oh yeah,
I win.
For sure. I knew that, I follow like the FDI and other stuff on Twitter, and I knew that he was the highest rated guy I could possibly draw. He had just come up, what was it, a semifinal, I think, the weekend before, if I'm not mistaken. And he's obviously, he's never necessarily cracked the top 32, but he's always hovering right there. He's obviously one of the best players in the world. So it was one of those, like, if I'm going to crash out in the first round, that's the kind of match you want, someone that's going to push you. But when you play well, like I did, now you're kind of like, well, I mean, I was not upset about that match. I felt like I played well. He had to go on an unbelievable tear at the end just to beat me. So I feel good about that. But yeah.
Did that World Championship game prove to yourself maybe that you are good enough to go and compete with the very best in the world?
And in a way, that's what kind of started that dilemma of, do I want to do it over there or here? Because once I proved to myself, okay, yes, I know I lost, but the quality that I played at in that venue, I felt like on a different day I win that match. I used to joke around how when my first time on Modus, I beat Littler all 3 times, and so obviously I'm just saying it in jest, but I'm going to make sure everybody knows that until he finally eventually evens the score, which I'm sure he will. But practicing with Rob Cross and Scott Williams a couple days before with Stowe, I went 6-1 in sets against Scott. I went I lost 2-3 to Rob, and then the quarterfinalists, or sorry, the semifinalists of the Worlds last year was Scott Williams, Luke Littler, Luke Humphreys, and Scott Williams, and I played all 4 of them, and I only lost like 3 sets between them. So to me, like, okay, yeah, maybe I had a good day those days, whatever, but it still makes you feel like you can do it. And now that my game is back in a good spot, I can start trying to decide is do I want to commit over there, or do I want to try to help build something here?
Right now, what's your head saying? Do you want to be Alex?
I want to be here. And honestly, it has to do with, and every player from overseas has talks about this. I was in the UK for the entire month of January, away from my wife, away from home. I don't drink at all away from darts or playing darts, so I don't really go out and socialize. So for 3.5 weeks, it was wake up, warm up, play my match, go back to the room, get dinner, go back to the room, go to sleep, and then repeat the next day.
Yeah.
And unless I move there or stay there long term, I grew up in the military, and I always told my wife and everybody else that I would never get a job that took me away from her for long periods of time, because those relationships don't typically last. And so at the moment, it's now that I've proven to myself, I don't feel like I have to do it. It's, do I want to do it? And I want to see what we can build here, because we have some good momentum with the betting coming in now, and obviously the level of play here. And and I may still come to Q School in January just because I like to play over there, and the Challenge Tour opens up. But it's one of those, if I win a card, awesome, I'll give it a try. If I don't, I got tons of opportunity. So it's a win-win for me, I think, right now.
Coming back to obviously the cross border, that I know how disappointed you were that you didn't produce as the number one seed last year. So this year, is it a case of putting that right?
Yes. I had part last year, and not to down on him, but he's obviously not world championship part right now. So getting through that match, neither one of us played well. Then I had Jake Taylor, which fortunately that didn't make it to the stream because it wasn't very good. But I think that was really my first time playing on an actual stage.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a little bit, you don't really know. Yeah, you're playing up there, but like, do I acknowledge the crowd a little bit? Do I not? Like, you're almost distracted a little bit that first time up there, not knowing what to expect. But definitely trying to write that this year.
Again, the cross border this year, packed full of talent. Obviously, Danny Lauby getting his card. Team America looks a lot stronger than it did last year. I know you were obviously
Oh
playing for
yeah.
the pride of winning the cross border, but does that Nations Cup mean something as well to you?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I'm focusing on my game, and if I do my game, I'm winning points for for our team. But I also know that they don't have Jeff Smith and Matt Campbell here, which are two of their best. So that helps us out a lot. But yeah, I think Canada has always been fairly strong, and America's been a little bit, maybe a step or two behind. But we've either caught, or we're either catching up, or we have caught up. But I like our chances this weekend.
Madison Square Garden on the horizon. How important is it that your name is in that draw?
Uh, Very important. If I'm going to be focusing more of my attention playing here, well, if I want to play with the big boys, that's the one I got to get to. I got a lot of local people that can come root us on, and I don't think they realize just how. I mean, I don't want to compare, but when people keep asking me like how is oh, I went to MSG, but how was Ali Pally? I told them honestly, like, the crowd didn't feel that much different than MS. I mean, the audio, the noise level on stage when you hit a 180 is 10 times louder at Ali Pally. You can feel the sound. But as far as the crowd and the engagement, it was so great. So I love that we're building that here. So any event that we can have that's successful here is number one on my priority list right now.
Alex, absolute pleasure talking to you here at Cross Border, mate. And congratulations once again. Fabulous achievement.
Yep. Thank you, man.